Hey guys, my name is Roderick and today I will be going over the gateway into anime. This is mainly for people who don't know what anime is, or maybe they were thinking about getting into anime. This is just for anyone who is just new to this type of genre. So, here we go. This is an overview of what I will be going over today. I will be giving you a brief understanding of what anime is exactly. I'll give a list of some mainstream and popular anime and what genre they would be considered. I'll first give you the genre and then I'll give you the name of the said anime and then I'll give you a brief overview of what the said anime is about. So, what is anime? The word comes from the English word animation, and the word is for any type of animation that originates from Japan. If it is made anywhere else, then it is not considered anime, but rather a cartoon or just a regular animation. So basically anything that is made in like the United States or say just anywhere that is in Japan, then it isn't going to be considered anime. So most anime are going to be adaptations of manga or comics and light novels. So manga are basically what we would think about comic books like Marvel and whatnot. Manga is just like those, but they're made in Japan. And light novels are like exactly what they sound like. Think of like a regular book, but they're usually just a little bit shorter and but like more grand in the scheme of things. Like imagine Infinity War, but in book format. That's kind of what a light novel is. So, and that's how and this is where like a lot of the anime are made from. Like these are the sources they use. Compared to Western animation, anime focuses more on setting rather than movement. What I mean by movement is imagine a character that's moving. A lot of cartoons will kind of focus on character movement more rather than the background setting, whereas a lot of animes they'll put a lot of detail into like the buildings in the background and a lot of the characters will also get a lot of details and whatnot. Um, and it's a lot of similar to how Western animation is made in that a lot of the characters are uniquely made. Whether you give them big eyes, make them tall, short, whatnot, like they're all pretty similar. The only difference being they're made in Japan. Language. So anime is typically watched in one of two ways, with subtitles or a dubbed version. So what this means is you're either going to have subtitles but when you have subtitles, then the characters that are speaking are going to be speaking whatever the native language is, which is going to be Japanese, and the dubbed version, which is going to have the character speaking whatever your native language is. So for us, it would be English, and there will be no subtitles since you understand what the characters are saying. So there are pros and cons to both of them, but I will say that I recommend subtitles as you get the full experience and it's easier to understand what is going on by reading it rather than hearing it. If you are reading something, you kind of understand what is going on in the story, and when you're hearing something, like you can kind of maybe zone out and not really like you really maybe didn't hear it or whatnot. It allows like reading it allows you to kind of get a better grasp of what's going on in the story, in my opinion. But well, like I said, there's pros and cons to both, and they're both really like fine. If you like one or the other, it doesn't matter. Like you can still enjoy the anime doing either one. Genres. Anime has similar genres as most other media, like drama and science fiction, but it also has its own genres. These anime genres are usually geared towards a certain demographic of people, like boys or girls. I won't be going over these set genres as there's a lot of them and they're really not important to the overall scope of this. But the only genre that I will cover from this list, however, is going to be shonen, which means boy, and the reason I'm covering this is because it's the most popular genre in terms of anime, so I have to kind of go over it. And it's also all the others are like kind of niche picks, and they're not really meant for someone who is just getting into anime. And with that, we will go into our first genre, which will be drama. So, um, you know what drama is, and a good anime for this will be Death Note. Death Note is a very popular anime. A lot of people will recommend this to you. If you talk to someone who watches anime, they will most likely say, "Hey, go watch Death Note." It's a really good anime. It's about a boy who finds a book, and writing a name in the said book will end up killing that said person. And this boy wants to use the book to basically rid the world of criminals, you know? So he kind of has this vigilante kind of persona, say, and he thinks if the world is rid of criminals, then the world will have no more crime, and with that, he can bring peace to the world, and everyone will consider him a god. And that's the big thing. Everyone will consider him a god. This guy has a god complex, so he thinks he is doing the right thing, basically by ridding the world of criminals. And it's kind of ironic because the people who are kind of against him are the police, you know, the and because they're considering him someone who is killing all these criminals to be a serial killer. So it's just there's a lot of like tension in this show, and it's really great to watch. I would recommend this. Fantasy. Um, Fantasy genre is a really popular genre just in general, outside of anime. But Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is my recommendation for fantasy. If you want like something that is just outside of your usual modern day kind of stuff. This anime is considered one of the most popular anime like ever in Japan. Like a lot of people have seen this, so they like put it at #1 on their list. So this is a great way to start. Uh, Basically, the premise of this anime is for something to be attained, something must be given. And what that means is if you want to like perform the magic in this world, which is called alchemy, then you have to give something in return. So let's say you want to do earth alchemy. If you want to, let's say you want to make like a pillar of dirt. Well, to make that pillar of dirt, you have to give some dirt first. And once you give the dirt, then you can basically create this dirt into whatever you want to shape it into. And that's basically how the magic works. And you follow these two brothers who try to regain their humanity after they did some alchemy the wrong way. Shonen. This is that popular genre that I was talking about before. It's the most popular one, and it's a lot of action that goes on in these animes, like a lot of action. The one I recommend is My Hero Academia. It's about a boy who goes to a superhero school, and basically everyone there is trying to become a superhero. That's basically the gist of it. And it's quickly becoming one of the most popular shonen. It is more modern in that it was made quite later, like I think about 5 years ago. So this is a really good one to get into, and a lot of people do end up watching this. So you will always have people to talk to about this anime. Some family-friendly ones I will recommend. A lot of those shows that I talked about before, they're not really meant for kids. Maybe My Hero Academia, but other than that, like a lot of those aren't like they have a lot of adult themes to them. So these ones, however, are really like they're made for the family, you know. Studio Ghibli films are considered the Disney of Japan, and a lot of these movies are really well made with a heavy focus on the scenery. So they're kind of made for just about everyone. Whether a kid will most likely watch it for the visuals, while an adult will most likely watch it for the visuals and the story that goes on in them. Even if anime isn't your thing, you can still watch these movies and still enjoy them. Um, some of the movies that I will say, Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro, and Howl's Moving Castle, are four Studio Ghibli films that I will recommend. Like if you had to pick out of any of them, like just watch those ones. They're really good. Sci-fi anime, Cowboy Bebop. It's a classic. It's a show about bounty hunters who are not so good at their job. If you like Guardians of the Galaxy or shows about not so good people who are just making their way through life, this is for you. It's considered a classic and it's more for mature people. Very fun to watch, and it has a really good jazzy soundtrack. So if you like jazz, you'll probably like this anime. And then romance. Your Name. It's a movie. It has really good visuals. It's about two people who live very different lives. They end up switching bodies and then they learn to get accustomed to one another. This movie is on Netflix, so if you want to watch it, you can probably start there. Um, this is also one of those like if you don't like anime, you might like you can watch this like not as an anime but more so as a movie just to appreciate it in a kind of artistic way. And this is my conclusion. I hope this was able to give you some information on what anime is and some anime that you could get started on. A lot of these anime are considered some of the best in their genres, aka mainstream. So, um, if you really don't know where to get started, like I believe these animes are the best way to do it. Thank you for watching and have a good day.